Now, I've made carbonara on this channel before. This is basically carbonara with no eggs. It's called pasta alla Gricia. So I'm using bucatini and pecorino cheese, some pancetta here, and some pepper. That's it, 4 ingredients. So I'm gonna cut this pancetta into strips. And traditionally, this dish uses guanciale, but I don't have guanciale. It's kind of hard to find, you know? You're gonna go out of your way to get guanciale, but pancetta is very accessible. So I'm just rolling with a punch here. The thing about pancetta is it doesn't have as much fat. So I'm gonna add some olive oil in the pan to get it started. You know, I like some bite in my alla Gricia. You can do smaller chunks, do thinner pieces. This is how I like it, you know? Okay, so I got pancetta, cold pan. We start the heat on medium, and I'm gonna start boiling my pasta water. Like I said, pancetta is less fatty, so I'm gonna start it with some, normally I would just do some regular olive oil. But here I got some secret oil. This is the leftover from duck confit that I made a few days back. So it's got some garlic, onion, and other spices kind of infused in the oil. I think that's a good, you know, kick. This is about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Should be more than enough to get it started. You know what? I'm gonna turn it up to medium high, just so that the process kind of speeds up a little bit. Now the end goal here is to get the pancetta a little bit crispy and get some of the fat rendered out, and we should be good to go. It's only been like 2 to 3 minutes. That's already enough time for the oil to start sizzling. That's great. Smells awesome. Smells like duck confit and pork fat, obviously. So I'm gonna give it a stir. Make sure nothing's sticking. And rearrange all the pieces. I'm gonna leave them alone for a few minutes. Alright, I kind of mistimed it a little bit. Pasta water is still not even boiling yet. And when it does boil, it's gonna take another 7 to 8 minutes to cook the pasta. And this stuff is sizzling way too lively. So I'm gonna turn it down a little bit to medium low so that nothing burns. And we'll see what happens. Oh wow. Another mistake is I might have added a little bit too much oil. You see the pool of fat here? But I mean, you know, that oil's got duck, onion, and garlic flavors. So, it's okay. A quick fix when you have like too much oil or fat in the pan is to get, oh, okay, that's boiling. So I'm gonna make it quick. Get a piece of paper towel and just kind of, you know, get in there and absorb. I still want a fair amount of fat left in the pan so that I can get the emulsion started. So this is good to me. Meanwhile, this is finally boiling. So I'm gonna season the pasta water. Okay, a big pinch of salt. This is about like 1.5 liters of water left in there, which is not a lot. I want this pasta water to be kind of starchy. And now, pasta goes in. The package says 9 minutes, I'm gonna check on it after 7. Well, this is looking nice, by the way. Do want to give it a quick stir at the very beginning to make sure that they're not sticking together. It's been 7 minutes. I'm gonna give my pasta a little taste. There's still uncooked bits in the middle. Give it 30 more seconds. Meanwhile, I'm gonna turn the heat back on. Medium, nothing crazy. And I'm gonna take a spoon, get a few tablespoons of pasta water, get that in, swirl that around, you know, kind of quote unquote deglaze the pan a little bit. Looks pretty good. Turn the heat up a little bit to medium high. Now I can get my pasta in the pan. And you can tell these are still not 100% done. That's exactly what I want. I like bucatini. It's got, you know, some character. Basically the hole in the middle, which makes it like more satisfying to eat than spaghetti, in my opinion. But I mean, any sort of long pasta would work with this dish. Doesn't have to be bucatini. Some more pasta water in there. You want it to start kind of wet, and then let everything kind of tighten up a little bit. So the heat is now on medium high towards high. There's a little bit of liquid in here, which is nice. And now the cheese goes in. You're using pecorino here, you could use Parmesan. It's not the same thing. This is sharper, saltier. Parmesan is a little sweeter. But I mean, Parmesan works too, you know? You want a fair bit in there. Give it a mix. Kind of emulsify that a little bit in there. I'm gonna turn the heat off actually. Feed some more water in here. There's some sort of a cream going on, but like not much. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna turn the heat back on. Sometimes it happens, you know. The sauce kind of breaks. Just gonna try to fix it. A little bit more pecorino. Some mixing. It's gonna be fine either way, you know. It's gonna taste good either way. But just wanna make it kind of right, you know what I mean? Kind of creamy. Wanted to tighten up a little bit more. Keep the heat on. Add some more pecorino. What you could do is pre-grate the cheese and then add them in a little bit faster than I'm doing now. That's going to prevent the cheese from kind of becoming stringy and curdling up, you know. But again, it's all good. Still looks pretty good. It looks pretty creamy. I'm gonna turn the heat off. This is about done. I don't know if you can see here. There's, you know, some cream action. Take it off the heat. Make sure it's not like over thickening. And then I like to add my pepper at the very end. A lot of pepper as well. Put that in the mix. just a touch more water in there, because it's gonna thicken once it cools down a bit. And also I'm gonna top it off with even more cheese, so there's that. But this is basically done here. It's nice and creamy. Pretty good. See you on the plate. On the plate? No. All right, let's dig in. You see how there's no like moving liquid on the plate? You know what I mean? It automatically thickens a little bit. And yes, chopsticks for pasta. The only way to do it, you know? You probably can't see here, but you know, it's pretty creamy. And let's see. You see, it's not dry, but it's also not wet at all. It's just kind of this ideal situation where all the noodles are coated with this creamy looking sauce with no cream. Pasta is still al dente. It's cooked all the way through, but it's still got a little bit of a bite. That's literally what al dente means, to the tooth, you know? I just half choked on some pepper. But all the pepper is necessary because everything else is so rich, it's so salty. You need this much pepper to balance everything out. You know, the pecorino is salty, pancetta is salty, pasta is kind of a little bit salty from the water. And this is one of the 4 classic Roman pasta dishes. So they are pasta carbonara, pasta Amatriciana, pasta Gricia, and the last one is Cacio Pepe, which to me is the hardest of the 4 to make, which is why, you know, I'm kind of doing this backwards. I'm starting with the, you know, with the most like complete ones, you know, where you put everything. The carbonara, obviously, also the Amatriciana, which has some sort of smoked meat and tomato sauce. And then I'm taking away the tomato sauce and the eggs, which gives me this dish, pasta alla Gricia. And then with cacio e pepe, it's basically this without the pancetta or the guanciale. But that's what makes it the hardest to make, because there's nothing, you know, for you to hide your poor emulsification skills, if that's a thing. You know, with that, it's very easy to end up with pasta that has like stringy cheese in the middle. You know, those like cheese pulls you get in pizzas. You don't want those in your pasta. But I mean, these are great pasta dishes, and there are a lot of different ways to make them on YouTube, and there are a lot of hot takes on, you know, what belongs in a carbonara, what belongs in a Amatriciana. Not so much debate on this one, because it's, you know, I guess you could put garlic in it, but I don't think you need garlic, you know? The most controversial is definitely carbonara. And then second place, I would say cacio e pepe. Some people put olive oil, some people put butter. And then with the Amatriciana, it's more about, do you put onion and garlic? And then this one, I don't know. I haven't seen like any controversy or, you know, different opinions on how this dish should be made. Now I used about 4 ounces of pancetta to almost an equal amount of pasta. That might be a little too much, because as much as I enjoy eating pancetta, there's just too much of it. Look, 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. There's still 12 pieces of pancetta left in this pile of pasta. If you're using guanciale, this is probably a bigger problem, because it's even fattier than pancetta. So you'll be basically chewing on fat. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You see like bits of pepper on there. You see how like not overly wet it is? This is the platonic ideal of, you know, bucatini alla Gricia. So, this is it. Bucatini alla Gricia, one of the 4 classic Roman pasta dishes. Carbonara without eggs, cacio pepe with pancetta, whatever you want to call it. Falls in between, you know, cacio pepe and carbonara. I feel like it's really underrated. It's easier to make than carbonara because you don't have to worry about the eggs scrambling. Again, you don't need cream. I don't think you need cream for like 95% of all the pasta dishes like you can find in Italy. I could be wrong, but you know, this is just how I see it. You could use Parmesan, it's not the same thing. I prefer Pecorino in this case because it just kind of complements the pancetta that's also really salty. I would use Parmesan for Amatriciana because you have the tomato sauce, which is kind of sweet, you know? Either way, remember to put a whole lot of pepper, like more pepper than you think you need into this dish. You won't regret it. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Next week, it's probably gonna be something different. It's gonna be the start of something different. Or maybe not. We'll see. I don't even know. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out? No, I'm out.